Hello everyone, Bob Smitty here. Today I want to talk about negativity. This does also somewhat tie into the YouTube drama. Yes, another video about YouTube. Well, I'm trying to focus more on the negativity aspect. And a prime example of this, I'm sure you've heard of this guy, Leafy. LeafyIsHere YouTube channel. The first time I ever heard about Leafy was from the Tommy NC 2010 incident. So Leafy makes fun of this guy, like he does a lot of other YouTubers that he targets. And it's very satirical, but this guy Tommy, he was autistic. Of course, Leafy didn't know that. I don't think he did enough research into it or something. So he made fun of this guy. He was like in a grocery store parking lot. I think the title of the video was "Saving Her Eggs Made Me Feel Like Batman." And Tommy is all about positive vibes. He wants people on YouTube to be more positive to each other, which, that's a great thing. So Leafy decides to make fun of Tommy in his satirical video, and it backfires. Tommy comes out with a video saying that Leafy's fans are telling him to go kill himself in the comments, and he's crying, he's very upset, and this causes a controversy over the YouTube community. Several people are criticizing Leafy, and that's just part of the drama. Of course, Keemstar from Drama Alert gets in on it. After a considerable amount of criticism from his YouTube peers, Leafy finally makes an apology video, and now the two are cool. Tommy actually made a video inviting Leafy on a Google Hangout, so everything's fine there, I guess. I don't think there's any ill will between them now. So I think it's cool that Tommy forgave him for all that. Now, the question remains, is Leafy a cyberbully? And the internet is divided over this. Some people are like, yes, he's a cyberbully. He says mean things about people. But on the flip side, and it says in his YouTube video description that this is all satire. He's not actually wanting to harm these people. He's not meaning the things he says, he claims. And he also puts in his description for his fans not to go after these people in a witch hunt fashion. Don't go on their page and spam bad things. Now, that telling your fans to do that doesn't necessarily guarantee that they won't do that. Some of them still go on there, dislike videos of the people he makes fun of or satirizes. I do think he goes a little too far in his videos, but for the most part it is satire, so at least he has that disclaimer. Here's the definition of satire: the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. Now, I noticed one of the synonyms for this word is mockery, and he does make a mockery of several YouTubers. And strange thing about Leafy, he tends to go after smaller YouTubers versus the larger ones. Maybe he was thinking that he could squeak by with, the lesser YouTubers, wouldn't cause as much of a ruckus. Currently, he's been going after Onision, and Onision's firing back, so that's going on right now as I make this video, I think. I think Onision has already made 2 response videos so far, and it's just going to keep going back and forth, I guess. I don't know. But the sad thing is, people nowadays can't really take criticism. We live in a hypersensitive culture where people are just so sensitive to what you say online, and especially in real life, like to their face. You know the saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never harm me? Yeah, I don't think this generation understands that concept. Words pass away if you ignore them, but if you keep dwelling on what someone said to you, especially something negative, and you just sit on it, of course you're going to feel bad because you didn't blow them off. You just said, oh, he called me a dummy, ugh. If you keep dwelling on that and not just let it go, then of course you're going to be ticked off. You see, there's this thing called freedom of speech. It's kind of a thing here in America. People are going to say things to you, so don't get offended. Leafy, no doubt, has made plenty of enemies on YouTube. There is quite a few people who want to remove him. Even right now, there is a petition, well, it's been on there for a few months now, a petition on change.org to Google to get rid of him. Earlier today, when I first started working on this video, it was up to 529 supporters. Now it has 532, which means in the time I've been making this video, there have been 3 more people who signed it up, and now it's got 468 signatures left to reach the 1,000 goal mark to send it off to Google. That's a bit disconcerting, isn't it? If his channel does get taken down, we're taking a very dangerous step into internet censorship, because you're starting to mess with people's freedoms about what they can and can't say. Now, of course, the YouTube terms of service, I believe, states you can't harass people and do stuff like that. Yet YouTube hasn't really done anything to him, as far as I know. Now, Leafy's main argument against this seems to be that this is the internet. People are going to say mean things. That's just the way it is. I mean, you see it every day. You look in the comments of a video, like all the videos I watch, I tend to look in the comments just to see what people say. And there's always that handful of people, or sometimes more than a handful, that just spams vitriol. Just negative energy, negative stuff, comments, and it's just crazy. But that's the internet. I agree with Leafy on that point. It's the internet. People are going to say that crap. People talk smack all the time. If you're going to be on the internet, whether you have a Twitter account, a YouTube channel, etc., you're going to have a thick skin, because these people are out there, okay? If you can't handle it, if you can't take it, then just don't get on the internet. Just go outside, frolic in a field of daisies, where hopefully some positive things are. Because the internet, it's a melting pot of people from all over the world, and when you're sitting in front of your computer, you can say anything bad or good, and there's not really any consequences unless you threaten to kill the President of the United States. Then you might have a SWAT team in your house in 5 minutes. And not that I've tried that, but it could happen. The sad thing is, negativity sells, just like the media. Most news corporations get more ratings and therefore more money when they report bad things that happen. When there's a good thing that happens, they call it a puff piece, meaning it's a good news story and won't get that much press, won't get that much attention. So they tend to focus on the bad stuff, and that's similar to the internet. Whenever there's a controversy on YouTube or any other website, people get into that more, especially YouTube with all the drama alert and scarce and all these news guys popping up talking about issues on YouTube. And it's starting to become very much like TMZ. When I first time I saw drama alert, the first thing that popped in my head was, oh, TMZ, except it's on YouTube. So love him or hate him, there's always going to be people like Leafy and his fans on the internet. I find that it makes the situation worse if you respond to a troll or an agitator, because you're just going to make it worse. These people are going to keep hounding you because they know that they're bothering you. So if you just don't say anything, then eventually they'll get tired and move on to someone else. But every time you respond to them, every time you try to criticize them back, it's just going to go back and forth, like playing a ball game, It's just going to keep going back and forth, and then it's just going to create more and more drama. The funny thing about that is, if you have ad revenue enabled, then both you and the agitator will make money off the views, and if you keep going back and making it go back and forth, it could be a good thing. I mean, that would be an interesting conspiracy theory if Leafy and these people were actually making money off of hounding each other. I don't know. I still think it's more of a pride thing. Maybe not subscribers-wise. Because, the person who's being insulted could lose a lot of subscribers. Leafy, he kind of got hurt during that whole debacle with Tommy NC 2010. But from the records, he didn't really lose that many. He's actually gained much more. Actually, since that incident, he's gone from 1.5 million subscribers to 3.7 now in the past few months, so that's crazy. So a concern I have is that many people on YouTube are following Leafy's lead with this whole negativity thing. They see how successful he is, and now they're jumping on the bandwagon to get famous. So in conclusion, I do believe that Leafy is right in saying that it is the internet. Negative things are going to be said. You just got to deal with it. You got to have a tough skin. You got to grin and bear it and just keep on going. Ignore the negative comments. Or if you want to, you could try to go through and delete the negative comments. I think it's kind of pointless. And if you leave it there, then some of the fans that really like you and your YouTube channel will probably defend you in the comments anyway. So there's that. And turning off your comments like some YouTubers do, that kind of sort of shows that you can't take criticism. So I think it's best you just leave the comments on. I just want to say thank you, Leafy, if you ever watch this. Thank you for apologizing, taking it like a man, and apologizing to Tommy NC 2010. That was really good of you. I think it's a first great step in getting some kind of peace from all this drama mess that's been going on. And I hope you realize that with so many subscribers, you do have a responsibility to influence your fans in a right direction, a more positive direction, so that, you know, they're not so reptilian. That's what you call them, right? The reptilian army. Hiss. Yeah, that stuff. Maybe it can be a puppy army. I know it doesn't sound as epic, but, you know, puppies. Woof, woof, woof. I know you can't necessarily control them, but it would be good to try to keep them positive. Oh, and kudos to Tommy NC 2010 for forgiving Leafy. That's very nice of you, sir. It is so great to see someone on YouTube actually calling for peace and all this crazy mess. You know, despite all the negativity on YouTube, if it hadn't have been for Leafy making fun of Tommy NC 2010, I would have never found out about him. So you could say that something good came out of this mess. I was actually able to see this Tommy NC guy put out all these positive videos. It's so cool to see someone on YouTube who's just so positive like Tommy. I mean, he doesn't care what people think about him. He's, you know, he's got his fedora. He's got his own little style. He's going out and helping people. That's great. That's what we need. I mean, if Leafy had never made that video, we would have never heard of this guy. And since that day that Tommy was made fun of and Leafy apologized, Tommy NC 2010 is now up to 130,000 subscribers. That is insane. Before, he was, gosh, what was he? He was in like the single thousands, I think, single thousand digits. So yeah, I mean, it did kind of help him, but still is kind of a negative thing that happened. It's a mixed bag, you know. Now, I can't do what Leafy does, man. I can't be negative to people. I can't, like, say harsh things. I've never been that kind of guy. I mean, I did when I joke with my friends, but I gotta stay positive. You know, like Tommy NC 2010, I saw his channel. I'm like, hey, you know, maybe I can devote my YouTube channel to actually encouraging people instead of bashing them. You know, you got your Leafys and then you got your Tommies. So this is a great lesson in what kind of effect you can have on YouTube. You choose what path you want to take, of course, because, you know, the free world. I'm going to try to stay positive like Tommy NC 2010. I know it's not the most popular thing on YouTube right now because the whole thing with Leafy is selling real good, like Pyrocynical, H3H3. Criticism in a sarcastic tone does get you a lot of subscribers. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, I could be sarcastic. So I've decided I'm going to try to devote my channel to positivity, staying positive, and what does he say? Keeping you on the inside fact. What does that mean, Tommy? Inside fact. He might explain it in one of his videos. I've seen a few of them, but I don't quite get that. I think that's just a catchphrase.